Welcome to my first video ever, guys. We are math addicts. And today, as our first lecture, first topic, we're going to be learning about vertex. We'll be learning about what is a vertex, how to find it. Two simple notions. We're going to be learning about vertexes of quadratic functions. An example of quadratic function, simplest form of quadratic function is x squared, where vertex happens at 0, 0. It's also where min slash max occurs, right? So in this case, it's a minimum. The minimum occurs at 0, 0. So there's something called standard form, which is a x squared plus bx plus c, right? Where a, b, and c are just the constants. And the vertex form is y equals a x minus h squared plus k, right? This a plays a huge value in this, as a tells if a is positive, a means the quadratic function would open upwards like that. If it's a negative a, it means it would open downwards like that. So this tells us if we're going to have a maximum or minimum. If it's a positive a, it tells we're going to have a minimum. If it's negative a, we're going to have a maximum, right? So in this case, and the h and k represent vertex. So in this case, vertex is equal to h and k, right? And the minimum or maximum value would occur at k, right? Let's go look at an example where we have to complete a square. We have to go from this form to this form. Okay, so here, let me just add one more page. How to do this and that, and go back to full screen. All right, so now we have, let's say this is our example, x squared plus 6x plus say 7. Okay, now that's a standard form. In order for us to put it into vertex form, which is y equals a x minus h squared plus k, first step is to factor that. First step, factor, right? Since this is already factored, we don't like factor as like taking out the any common multiple in there, which there's nothing in front of x squared, so we don't really need to, right? So there's no need for factoring. So okay, so second, like factoring out common multiple, no need for that. Second step is completing a square. Completing square, right? Where if you look at, we want a format where it has x minus h square, right? There's somewhere in this format. How do we do that? How do we make it into perfect square, right? We look at the numbers. So say 0, x squared plus 6x plus 7. All right, a simple way to find out what number you need here to make this a perfect square, because this 2 will remain, right? We can't change that pretty much. So what we need to do is change the back part, to make it a perfect square. So what would work with that? So what we need to do is take that b value, divided by 2 square would be the value that needs to be here. So in this case, it would be 6 over 2 square, which it's just a 3 square, which is equal to 9. So if we had a 9, you could complete the square, right? But instead of 9, we had 7. So what should we do? Next step would be what you would just do. Simple. 6x plus 7. You just add 2, right? That would make it a 9. But however, if you're adding 2, you should also add 2 to this side, right? Well, that looks like 20, but you should also add 2 to this side. Whatever you do to one side, you should do it to the opposite side, or whatever you do to one side, you should also do the opposite. So if you want, you can just keep it on one side and be like, okay, -2. You're not adding or subtracting anything. You just add 2 plus 2 minus 2, which is the same thing as saying x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 2. Now we could just discard, like, no discarding, but we could just put that to the side and we put this in bracket. Now we know we complete the square in here. As we found before, the value of b over 2 was equal to 3. All right. So in this case, it's just x plus 3 square minus 2, right? And our a value is just 1. So this is our vertex form, where vertex occurs at -3 and -2. So when we graph this, let's graph it here. You're moving 1, 2, 3 units to there, and 1, 2. So somewhere down here, right? Something like that will be our graph. And this is where your vertex happens. We know it's a minimum because the a value is positive, right? So -3 and -2. Now, many of you would be asking, why do we do this part? Why do we do this? All right, I'll show you like simple way. Because when you're expanding, when you have x plus 2 square, right? When you expand into, like, that's the same thing as saying x plus 2 times x plus 2, all right? The easiest way to do this is just x is equal to x squared, all right? And 2 times that is equal to 4x, and then the last number square, which is equal to 4. If I want to put this in a simpler term, let's see if I can add a new page for that. This is a standard form. So in order to expand squares, x plus b, right, square, so a plus b square is same thing as saying a square plus 2ab plus b square, right? In order for us to find b, if we're given 2ab, in which case it was 6x, what we need to do is just divide it by 2a, right? And which should give you b. But since a was just 1, or a was just x in that case, in this case you just divide it by 2, right? Since we don't know b, so if you divide by 2, you're just given, you come up with just b, right? If you divide that number just by 2, a, which is 2x, in that case, it would just give you, you'd be left with b. But when you square that, it will give you the number that it needs to be, right? So that's how we got to that, right, guys? If you guys like and want to see more videos, please leave a comment on which topic you may do next. And if you guys can like and subscribe, much appreciated. Thank you.